You're intelligent. You're aware. You can spot a red flag from a mile away when it's in someone else's relationship. So why didn't you see it in your own? Here's the truth. Ignoring red flags has nothing to do with intelligence, and everything to do with psychology. I'm between love and logic, and on this channel, we explore the space where heart meets mind. Today, we're diving into why smart, self-aware people convince themselves that obvious warning signs don't apply to them. Because if you've ever looked back at a relationship and thought, "How did I not see that?" You're not alone, and you're not broken. Your brain was just doing exactly what it's wired to do. Let's break it down. First, hope is a powerful drug. When you meet someone who checks certain boxes, your brain releases dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical that makes you excited, optimistic, energized. And here's the thing about dopamine. It doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you focus on potential. Psychologists call this future projection. You're not seeing who they are right now. You're seeing who they could become, who they promise to be, who they were in that one perfect moment. So when they cancel plans last minute, you tell yourself they're just busy. When they're hot and cold, you convince yourself they're working through something. When they disrespect your boundaries, you believe they just need time to learn. You're not ignoring the red flag. You're rewriting the story around it. Because hope feels better than disappointment, and your brain will always choose the narrative that keeps the dopamine flowing. Smart people are especially good at this, because we can rationalize anything. Second, you're investing in a version of them that doesn't exist yet. This is called the sunk cost fallacy. The more time, emotion, and energy you invest in someone, the harder it becomes to walk away. Even when every sign is telling you to leave. You think, but I've already put in 6 months, a year, 3 years. You think, if I just love them harder, communicate better, give them one more chance, they'll finally show up the way I need them to. And here's where it gets tricky for intelligent people. You believe in growth. You believe people can change. And that's beautiful. But there's a difference between supporting someone's growth and sacrificing yourself waiting for transformation that may never come. Red flags aren't challenges to overcome. They're information. And smart people often confuse the two. You see a red flag and think, how can I fix this? When the real question should be, do I want to sign up for this? Third, you're afraid of being alone or starting over. Let's be honest. Walking away means admitting you were wrong. It means being single again. It means going back out there. It means facing the discomfort of uncertainty. And if you're someone who values stability, who's worked hard to build a life, who's already been through heartbreak before, the idea of starting from scratch feels exhausting. So you stay, you tolerate, you minimize. Psychologists call this loss aversion. We're wired to avoid loss more strongly than we seek gain, which means staying in something mediocre often feels safer than risking being alone. But here's what I need you to hear. Choosing yourself is not the same as being alone, and starting over is not the same as going backwards. Every time you ignore a red flag to avoid discomfort, you're choosing short-term relief over long-term peace. And smart people, we know better. We just have to practice doing better. Finally, you're empathetic, and they're really good at making you feel responsible. Here's where emotional intelligence can work against you. You understand nuance. You see people's pain. You make space for their trauma, their struggles, their bad days. And someone who's emotionally unavailable or manipulative, they'll use that against you. Not always intentionally, but they will. They'll say, I've been hurt before. That's why I act this way. They'll say, you're the only person who understands me. They'll say, I'm trying. Can't you see I'm trying? And because you're smart and kind, you extend grace, again and again, until grace becomes tolerance, and tolerance becomes accepting treatment you'd never advise a friend to accept. So why do smart people ignore red flags? Because they're hopeful. Because they're invested, because they're afraid, and because they're kind. None of that makes you foolish. It makes you human. But here's your reminder. You can be understanding and still have boundaries. You can see someone's potential and still honor their reality. You can be empathetic without setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Red flags are not puzzles to solve. They're exit signs. And the smartest thing you can do, pay attention to them. If this resonated, subscribe to Between Love and Logic. We're exploring the space where heart meets mind, one video at a time. See you next week.